quick message to say that we understand that addiction, mental health, and real life is a very serious subject. Although we try and keep a light-hearted and often humorous approach to the subjects on this show, we understand that times are not always easy. If you are struggling or are suffering with something, then we urge you to seek the correct help, or at least speak to someone. Though we are not doctors or experts in this field, our DMs are always open to anyone. We are not immune from the harsh realities and struggles that come with all mental health issues, and we are here to help and listen to anyone who reaches out. You are never alone, and we thank you again for listening and watching.
Before we started, I wanted to start by saying, oh no, what's going on here? So before we play it, I did want to say merry 3 years
Thank you.
and well done
Yep.
and all the plaudits.
Yep.
Now, I hope you're only mildly offended by this. And my only regret is that it's not me singing. You may, well, just play it and then you may realise who it is straight away. But
Alright.
this may be totally crap, and you may be like, well, what have you done that for?
Okay. Well, let's go.
But I thought in good AA fashion, you might enjoy this.
Alright. Here we go.
Oh, I'm having a heart attack now. I'm nervous.
Are you?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Senior Sam. You've done 3 years and got a nap. So eat some cake and wear your parsley hat and pay your fine, 'cause you're a twat.
Perfect.
Bit of an anticlimax.
No, just nice. Just really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I was struggling for things that rhyme.
No, it's
So I
perfect.
went for hat and twat.
I was actually thinking of the AA Happy Birthday song the other day. Yeah, it's a strange thing, isn't it?
Well, that is my digital 3-year trinket to you.
That's a
And,
really
my,
good one. Thanks,
my
mate.
only reservation is that I didn't sing it.
This your brother,
Um,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna have a go at it, but there was just point. I can't. I'm that bad at holding a tune. Like I can't even sing Happy Birthday.
This episode is about rock bottom. How do you feel about that term in general, and about talking about it?
Um, I don't mind the term. I don't particularly um I don't particularly use it when I think about myself or talk about myself. I don't think um I had like I've got like one particular sort of instance or night out or happen, one one particular rock bottom as it is. There is one particular event that I would always probably refer to as the one, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
But I think about my time as an alcoholic as like a grind, like mine was like a descent, a very slow and grinding descent. I don't actually, I feel like I was probably at rock bottom for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And I struggle to really tell or relate to having a particular rock bottom, because I knew I had a drink and drug problem for quite some time. So I see my rock bottom as just a real grind to the bottom of it. I like to do, as we've discussed before, I like to do things the hard way.
Yeah.
I enjoy things when they're harder, and I sometimes think when I look back now, I had to do drink and drugs to a really hard way, to really grind myself into the floor where I just felt worthless. I really had to learn. I was only ever going to learn the hard way.
Yeah, because the original sort of idea was more of a listener question, really, but he was asking what your perspective is of it now as well, because he says that when he sort of retells what his rock bottom was like, he basically gets PTSD. It takes you right back to it. I'm similar to you. I don't really have one particular event, but I do. When I look back at it, my initial thought is, oh, that's terrible, can't believe I've done that. But then I've realised over the years that was the reason I'm doing what I'm doing now. And it's the cliche of, like, if I hadn't have been there, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And that's I think the main point, what I have to tell myself when I think of all the terrible things that I've done and put myself through over the years. It's not, and that's not just an alcohol thing as well. That's like a mental health thing as well, of a battle that I'm still in sometimes. That it all builds you as a person if you can get through it properly. I think rock bottom sometimes isn't the right word.
When I think about it, it is, it's just an addition, an amalgamation of a million bad choices. Spending your, for examples, the amount of times I've spent council tax money on paying for drugs, and you're borrowing from next month, and that just has a knock-on impact, doesn't it? Because you wake up the next day and you are not proud of that at all, and like you feel like when you're an alcoholic, and when I look back now, I feel like I was giving a piece of myself to alcohol and drugs every time I made a bad decision. Every time you wake up with a hangover, every time you're in the doghouse, every time you spent money you shouldn't have, every time you can't remember what you did last night, and you've got that anxiety of, God, what did I say? Who did I talk to? I've driven into work before, absolutely dying and hanging, and seriously, like, considered just swerving my car into the traffic just so I could have a bit of a bump, so I didn't have to go to work and face the day.
Yeah.
And that's bizarre now, isn't it? Bizarre to think that, and like, that's the madness. I thought I would just have a little bit of a crash, and then I could ring work and say, oh, I've had an accident on the way to work, can't come in today, and not think that you would be like the police would turn up and say, can I breathalyse you, please? I feel like I give a piece of myself to alcohol over the years, and then when you finally reach rock bottom, you've given all you can, like there's nothing left to give, and you feel utterly worthless, like all of your pride is gone. You make no good decisions for yourself. You don't feel like a good dad anymore. You're not a very good husband. You have given everything you have to alcohol.
I've got nothing left.
Sorry, mate.
Said they wanted to.
I've got to sneeze.
Sorry.
This will be about 4 sneezes. It's 4. 3 away from an orgasm, apparently. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I've spoken to people and sat with people that have, if they talk about their rock bottom or their thing, they've said they wanted to die.
The worst possible time to be sneezing. I feel like I'm at school and I can't sneeze. Like when you're not allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, mate. You were just saying about when someone wants to die.
Yeah, so I've sat with people when they've described and spoken about their rock bottoms and their journey, and then they've said they wanted to die, and I don't think I ever wanted to die, but I didn't want to be me anymore. I was so lost. I'd lost my identity. I'd given my identity to alcohol and drugs. Like I say, piece by piece, every bad decision you make, you feel worse and worse. Your pride diminishes that little bit more, doesn't it? And I just got to the point where I didn't feel anything. You know, I just knew what I was doing was so wrong, and I'd given my entire being, my entire presence, I'd given it to alcohol, and the only way to get it back is to stop alcohol, stop taking drugs.
Yeah.
And you can get yourself back. You know, that spark behind your eyes comes back, doesn't it? That's what rock bottom means to me.
Yeah.
It's just reaching the end of the line is more how I feel my journey is. I often look at my drinking sort of roadmap as teenage to 25, I think were sort of the good times. You know, I could get over the top and I could have a laugh, but I could laugh it off, and it, you know, didn't really get problematic. My decline started when I was 26, and you said this in a voice note to me in the week. Around 26, I think you step from being a kid, don't you? You can't say you're a young man and a kid anymore. You sort of step into manhood. All of my peers were getting off the train. You know the train you're on, you get on when you're 15, don't you? And it's the drinkers train and everybody's having a great party. And slowly people start to get off that train at different stops. And then there's just these boozers and alcoholics left. And I just think, like, people are getting houses, people are getting married, people are having kids. And I'm still on that train that I've been on since I'm a kid. And I don't know how to get off the train.
Yeah.
And like from 26 to 30, I started to lose my identity. You know, people were doing things and I wasn't. And life, you know, life leaves you behind, doesn't it? And it really left me behind, and I got more and more subconsciously and internally depressed, and you just lose all your self-worth because you're looking around at everybody who's going on nice holidays, and you know it might not be completely true. You know, we all have problems, don't we? But on the surface, everybody seems bright and breezy. So you're looking around at other people and you're thinking, God, what am I doing with my life? And the cogs start to turn in your head that, could I be an alcoholic? Could this be shit? Am I, you know? And then for me, like in that late 20s, like the drugs come in and it gets a bit heavier on all of that. And then in my 30s, like it's descent. You know, drinking is no longer fun then. I'm just drinking for depression and blackout and total escapism. That's when escapism starts for me. Around 30, and at that point you know it's bad, but you can't get off the train. And that is when I describe, that's when I start giving pieces of myself to alcohol. And you know, remember when in one of the previous episodes you say you had a seed planted by Boobs, who called you a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
And Christmas 2024, it was the 6th of December, and Lauren said to me, you need to slow down. Christmas hasn't even started and you've celebrated every night. And I just thought to myself, I've been out every night from the 1st of December for 6 nights in a row, telling myself it's Christmas, it's okay. Yeah. And that was the first little seed. I remember it, like first proper time I thought, shit, has she got a point? And I had a particularly shocking Christmas Eve. And I got reprieve Christmas Day because nobody wants to fight on Christmas Day, do they? So
did you throw a frozen kebab through a window or not?
I didn't. No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do it properly then?
It sort of carried on all the way into the new year, and I signed up for the Brighton Marathon. I told myself that I'd be okay because I'm training for a marathon, so I can keep running and I can keep drinking, but as long as I can, in my head, as long as I can go and run 10 miles 3 times a week, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm not an alcoholic. Yeah. And I was quite literally running on Friday mornings after a Thursday night, and I would probably have had 9 or 10 pints in the pub. And I was getting up at 5:30 the next day and stinking and sweating a bit and forcing myself through these miles to tell myself I was fine. Anyway, I hurt my knee playing football in February. The training stopped, couldn't run the marathon, sort of knocked drugs on the head as well. So I was very reliant on alcohol at this point. And I just got worse and worse. And by April, I was absolutely terrible. And Lauren had booked a gender reveal scan for Elwood now. It was on a Sunday morning. She'd managed to get it in at this private thing, like 9 o'clock in the morning, which, if you're a drinker, is a hellish time for any appointment.
Yeah.
After a Saturday night. Like, the last thing I remember on the Saturday night is probably about 8:30, and the next thing I know, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the spare bedroom. I've got no phone, no trousers. I've got no clue where anything is. I've got no clue how I got here. I just know I'm in trouble. And long story short, Lauren went to this gender reveal scan without me. And I'm hungover. I'm absolutely raging. You know, this is all Lauren's fault. How dare she do this to me? Rightly so for her. You know, it's a pretty big thing, isn't it, for a couple?
Yeah.
And I've gone and got absolutely fucking cunted the night before. And so much so, like, she said, one of the later details that was revealed when we finally, sort of smoothed it over and things, was that she had to take me up the stairs, and she's pregnant, and I was obviously falling about and nearly brought us both down the stairs, which is obviously for a pregnant woman catastrophic. And that was one of the things that, when we talk about rock bottom, learning that was one of the things that really sort of hit home. The whole of Sunday goes on and I'm still angry. It's still all Lauren's fault. I can't believe she's done this to me. I can't believe she's gone to this scan without me. All I did was have a few beers. I'm just having a weekend. It's not. And then about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, I thought, oh my God, you were a cunt. Like I've said before, like, I always used to ask myself the question, where does this end?
Yeah.
Where does this end? And that was like the point where I thought, this is where it ends. And it still took me a very long time after that to manage it, you know.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, I carried on throughout 2024 attempting to manage drink, just be a better drinker. Which had its ups and downs and led me to here.
That story of you doing that, and I know exactly, and people listening will just be like, might not be a gender reveal, but the amount of stuff that you ruin through that is ridiculous. And it's just like, it was a weekly thing at that point for me, because like you say, you just give everything to the cause.
So
was that just,
and
like,
that was
a normal
that was
thing?
That was weekly. I mean, that's the one thing. That was like I said earlier, the straw that broke the camel's back. But I have got tens of hundreds of those kind of stories where alcohol comes first before everything else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You compromise nothing for your night out and alcohol, do you? And every time you get up, that's, you know, why I say you feel like you give a piece of yourself to alcohol, because you know inside yourself you've made a terrible decision, don't you? You know the next day there's remorse, there's regret, there's, oh God, what have I done again? And you just give a little piece of your soul, don't you? And that was the last one. That was the one where I sort of handed over the last piece of me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep making these same mistakes. I can't keep letting people down. And I'm really fortunate, you know, that I was given that many lives, that many chances.
My wife makes no apologies about saying if we didn't have kids at the time, we wouldn't be together anymore, because she just said it was just unmanageable, and she just didn't know how to navigate leaving me, basically, because we had kids and it was so complicated. That's because that's what happens if you keep banging the nail in the same way. Eventually, like you say, something's got to give.
Did you go through periods of your life thinking things like that were going to change you, um, like getting married and having kids. Did
No.
you ever go through, like I did? I used to think like certain things would make me grow up. I'd be like, I'm getting married soon. That's got to change me. I've got a, I've got a son. I've got a son coming up now. That has got to change me. And it doesn't. And that just brings me back to that point of doesn't matter what event or what you think is going to come around and change your circumstances and change your mentality, nothing gets between you and alcohol.
Mine's slightly different, where I just think from age, whatever it was, I started drinking properly, which is probably about like 15, 16 properly. I think that was the age I really just shut off the whole concept of real life and me as a person and who I was and emotions and just real things like that. It just, from that moment till the moment I eventually sort of stopped drinking, my like self-development was just put in a cupboard, and it just, I never once thought about like, where am I actually going with this, what am I actually doing. And part of that is age, like you just don't think of them things when you're younger anyway. But
No.
I was, even in my early 30s, I'd already had 3 kids and done loads of things, and I still hadn't once thought about what I was actually doing, you know, up until, you know, when I did hit sort of rock bottom. But it is really bizarre to think that there was not one moment, you know, my mate Boobs planting that seed of, because he's a functioning alcoholic, Brody, like as a joke, that planted a seed. But I didn't go like, wait, is he saying that because it's true? Or I didn't think about it at the time. It was looking back, I was like, fucking hell, he said that, and it all makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Like, you know, the maths equation makes
It's in
sense.
retrospect that you see those seeds, don't it? You don't see those seeds at the time. It's purely
No.
retrospective.
And I'm like, how could I have possibly been that thick to not see such an obvious thing, you know? And I think this is what my wife can struggle with, is it's like the minute I decided, like, I've actually had a brainwave, I think I've got a problem with alcohol, I'm going to stop it. She's like, yeah, no shit. But,
Were you hungover for the birth of your kids?
my first baby was the night before a game, so that was one of my rules. I had like a set of like 4 or 5
Yeah.
rules. One of my rules was I would not drink the night before a game, and we had a home game the night after she was born, so I didn't drink. The middle child was hungover, but not that bad, just a normal hangover sort of thing. And then Reef we had at home, and I was drunk whilst he was getting pushed out. I had a Domino's and about 8 Stellas with the
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that.
with the Ryder Cup on Sky
Sorry,
Sports.
that is just not funny. Sorry.
Yeah, but that was it. We had a birthing pool in the living room. It was like I was on holiday. A little pool in the living room. And I was
Honestly,
like,
that
this
is
brilliant. And I was drinking.
it's a wonderful example of how can you be that stupid?
Yeah.
How can you not think that this is a problem when you've got a child being born and you've got tins and the Ryder Cup on?
Yeah, this is the way my brain used to work, though. It wasn't like, right, I'm having my 3rd child right now. I need to make sure that like everything goes all right. I was thinking, the wife's in labour and there's 2 midwives here. I can drink as much as I want now because I'm not going to get in trouble because she's got bigger fish to fry. So yeah, alcohol was present for 2 out of the 3 babies. But all the christenings, obviously, they were big ones. I made my own beer for my first daughter's christening, and I'll never forget this. I had a party the night before the christening. You know, I convinced Brody it was a good idea. Let's have a really big party.
Yeah.
And I brewed my own beer, and it was like a really budget value, like make your own beer kit. I gave me and one of my best mates, Dougie, intense alcohol poisoning from the homemade beer, and he was the godfather of Shiloh, and couldn't attend the formalities.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, it was just like an outline of him in the corner, just feeling like death, because I'd literally nearly killed him from alcohol poisoning. And he's like a tough lad as well. And then we got back to my house for like the meal or whatever, and he just had to go to bed.
Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
When you were saying you were starting to notice in your like 26 onwards that something isn't normal, the way you're thinking about stuff, I think there's a couple of things that I think about during my like rugby career where I look back now. That's the thing, isn't it? Now you look back, it's like that was the moment it really started to fall away from me. A specific thing that is now just like, and this isn't like terrible, it's just a brain thing that is just unnatural. And we used to play this game sometimes like in the Tigers WhatsApp group, and it was called Neck Nominate, and all you'd do is like down a pint on video, and then you'd nominate someone else, and then they had 24 hours to do the same. And I was so passionate about this game of Neck Nominate. It was like all that mattered at one point, because it was in my head, it was a free go at downing a beer. I was just constantly checking my phone, and I was working out who, like the pattern of what it would. I was like, right, so if he gets nominated, he's likely to nominate him, and then he's a good mate of mine, so he will probably, hopefully, nominate me. And then I'd be like, but then I got nominated 2 days ago, so maybe people they've remembered that. And then obviously now I'm like, no one gives a shit about, like, because there used to be lads doing it going like, oh, fucking hell, I've been nominated. Like, do I really have to do it? Whereas I was like checking my phone and going like, Brody, Manu's been picked. And she'd be like, oh, like for England. I'd be like, no, Nick nominated. He's been picked, so he's very likely to pick me, and then I'll get to drink a beer. And she's like, with 2 children, like under each arm, just going like, you are a moron.
Banging on that door again.
Yeah, but like I was honestly I was 100 times more bothered about that than getting picked at the weekend. Like, you know, that was...
Yeah.
And I remember not understanding why lads were not thinking it was the best concept of all time. Like, that there was clearly lads who were not bothered about it, because why would you be if you've not got a problem? It's an inconvenience, isn't it, on a Tuesday evening having to take a video of yourself down in a Budweiser.
Could you imagine a Tigers veterans WhatsApp group coming up now and you get nominated? The inconvenience now, the chalk and cheese. Honestly, like, even if it was a pint of squash, I couldn't be asked to do that.
No.
But because it's a beer, best game in the world.
Yeah. And I hate forced fun as well. And that is the definition of forced fun, isn't it? It like formed into like a subgroup of a different Neck Nominate with less people. And it was like, right, there's 4 of us now. Oh, you've nominated me again? Oh, bloody hell. The main thing I wanted to speak about today, and I haven't even got onto it yet, bloody hell, is for my whole life, I told myself, without knowing it, everything was fine. That was and still is to a point, and my mates still go like, no, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? Now they can correct me and go, no, it's not fine, Sam. You've shut yourself. That's not fine.
Yeah.
Whereas I was always just like, this is fine. Everything's fine. And I think that was something I maybe learned during my upbringing, you know, just very positive family, which I think is a really good way to look at things. But sometimes you have to go, no, this is not fine. We need to address an issue here. Whereas up until this point of rock bottom that I had, I was like, everything's fine. This is all fine. Let's get on with life. This is great. Drink, do whatever. And that was my whole way. And then I had this mental breakdown in 2019. And I think where it started was I'd already decided we were going to move to Australia, and I was going to retire like quite early at like age 29. So I'd already told the club that, and I'd already flown to Australia on my own to meet people to sort of sort out getting a job and stuff. And I stayed with our mate Henry. Had a big, heavy week of drinking in Australia, and then the thing about a 24-hour flight is you get a lot of time. You can't drink for 24 hours straight, so you get a lot of time to just be on your own. And I think this was the first time I'd spent that much time on my own for decades, to be honest. Without knowing it, I'd never really spent any time on my own, or like time thinking on my own anyway. You know, reflecting. Maybe it was a time of reflection for the first time, and on this flight home, bear in mind, I had a wife, 3 kids, a rugby career that had gone pretty well, and this new life of Australia. You know, I had everything going for me. Still not 30, like, you know, everything going for me.
Still not 30.
And on that flight back, I just got hit with this thing of, I don't want this plane to land. I want this plane to crash. And I was like, what? Why do I feel like that there? That's so strange. I was like, I really just don't want to land home. I don't want to land anywhere. And then things I'd done in the past started to hit me. I put my head in the oven when I was about 18, when I was really drunk, but I was like, I just did it. I put my head in the oven. And luckily, my mum's got an Arga. Do you know what an Arga is? Like,
Yes.
they're just constantly on, and they're constantly really hot.
Yeah.
I put my head in the oven, you know, in a self-harm way. I don't know what I was thinking, and it was just too hot in there, so I was like, fuck it hell. But I did burn all the skin off my forehead, and it was...
Yeah, I'm not
I
surprised.
had to lie about it the next day. And before that, I'd climbed up onto the scaffolding at my house, and I'd done scary things in the past that I'd just written off as I was doing it. But that, looking back now, I know that they were because I had this inner thing where I was fighting something, and I think what alcohol was doing was just really just numbing that down, because sometimes if I'd get really drunk, I'd want to hurt myself. And this flight back from Australia, I realised, like, oh, there's times where I just don't want to be here, and like that's my reaction to stuff. You know, I've been saying everything's fine. But then also, when I'm really pissed sometimes, or now I'm sober on the plane, I actually want to die. And then the week after, Brody went on a hen do, and I had the kids over the weekend. Reef was like 6 months old. My daughters were like 1 and 3, so like very young. And my daughter had a birthday party in there somewhere, and I just had this week of genuine depression that I'd never like sort of paid attention to before.
Are you drinking this week?
Yeah.
Or is this
drinking
right? So yeah,
huge,
yeah,
drinking huge amounts, and there's definitely no fun or smiles at the minute. Brody is very aware of. I have realised a little bit that nothing's fine, and it's sort of brought up everything that I've done in the past for her, and she's like, fucking hell, this is a pickle. And she's got this hen do. She goes on it, and that weekend, the Friday night, I think I stayed at my mum's house with the kids, and I was like, well, that's one night I can just go out in Hinckley and I'll just get absolutely blasted. And dropped the kids at mum's and went out, and then I ended up, for the second time in my life, taking cocaine. First time in my life I was 14. Because of drug testing and stuff at rugby, I'd never done coke or anything, but a lad I went to school with was a big dealer in Hinckley. Had a few beers with him, and then I was like, yeah, give some of that. And then that was just this binge on cocaine and alcohol that I'd never had before. I'd never had one of them nights out where it's 6 a.m. and you've got no idea how it's 6 a.m. like you've just said. And I just remember my heart beating and him going, he kept saying, no, you can't have any more. Like, you've had so much and you've never done it before. Like, this is not, I don't want to be responsible. And I knew what I was doing. I was literally I would have fucking had teaspoons of it if he'd have given it me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just in that mindset. And then I go back home the next day, and I'm just, by this point, it's fully set in, this darkness that I've always like just shunned and just like tried to keep away. And this darkness has set in, and I'm just like, it's Saturday. I invite friends round in bits of the day to like have a few beers with, to sort of go like sociable beers, you know what I mean? Just so I'm not drinking on my own, and I just get worse and worse. And then nighttime sets in, and I just will never forget this like tunnel that comes round me, and I'm just like, it just hit me like, I'm gonna kill myself tonight. And I was like, wow, I've never like felt like this before. Like I was almost at peace with it. My mum's dad committed suicide when she was about 10, and I'd never really thought about it. But then this night I was like, well, my granddad did it. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. It runs in the family sort of thing. And you tell yourself these stories when you're not well. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's it, I'm going to do it. And I just drank as much as I can. I remember the last beer I had was a Tsingtao, you know, the Chinese beer, Tsingtao. And I was like,
No, no, sorry.
it's it's just a Chinese beer. I remember laughing, going like, oh, that's funny last beer to have on earth, isn't it? Like a Chinese one.
Yeah.
I never thought it'd be that. And I just went and I was like, right, there's a pack of paracetamol in there, and I'll have all of the drugs in the drug cupboard, and that should do the trick. And luckily, like, so I had like, I think it was like 15 paracetamol, and I had a load of ibuprofen as well, which looking back now would have done like nothing. But the paracetamol was like it is a lethal dose, what I took.
Yeah.
And I took them all, and I went to bed, and that something happened. God, maybe one day I'll realise it's God, maybe not, I don't know. But woke up just out of this thing at like middle of the night, and just this pain in my stomach, like bubbling, just so intense. And I just ran downstairs and spewed in the toilet, just everything, like on The Exorcist, like it was projectile.
Yeah.
And it was like just fizzing. And I've told this story before on Sober Dave's, but I just remember looking at these, this is very graphic, but like bubbles, and just going like, being hit with like, what the fuck have I done? But then the next morning, my like 6
So you're
month,
okay from there, like
yeah.
you've got it all up, and
Well, I don't know, I'm still pissed. Like I just
yeah,
remember
it's crazy how you remember these little snippets. You
yeah,
know,
it's like a blackout, I guess.
you
And
are lucky it's not a full blackout, because you may not be here.
well, that's what I mean. If I'd have not
Yeah.
been sick, and the paracetamol would have, gone into my full bloodstream or whatever, because I had to have tests after at the hospital and stuff. But next morning, my kids crawl up the stairs, and that's when I got hit with the most intense, what have I done? And
How do you feel at that point? You know, when you open your eyes, and do you feel lucky, or do you feel,
no lucky. Disappointment that I hadn't done
yeah?
what I wanted to do.
So
But
you're
then
disappointed that you
disappointed,
hadn't achieved it.
but then also the guilt of like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
looking at, my 3 babies, just so much sadness and just just all the bad feelings you could get, like gutted, grief, everything was just hitting me, because I'd just told myself everything was fine for years. And then I had to, I was like, I've got to ring Brodie and tell her this. And that was a very hard phone call, as you can imagine. She got
Yeah.
the train home from Manchester straight away, and her sister came and got the kids, and then she rang my club captain and my coach, and then I had to go and see the doctor, and I got help, thankfully. But then
Yeah.
the next 2 weeks were just that, they were the hard weeks, because the first time I seen the doctor, this psychiatrist, he was like, first things first, you need to not drink alcohol, and then everything else will, the treatment is a separate issue. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm not going to drink.
Are you okay with that at that point?
Yeah. That was sort of,
You-
this is what I mean, that the alcohol side of it sort of paled in significance to
Yeah.
being
To the
suicidal,
mental health.
because
Yeah, yeah, of course.
then for like 2 weeks, I obviously didn't go back to training at this point. I just had 2 weeks just at home. I was being sick every day. I was fully having withdrawals for a while because I was drinking that much, and my stomach was so bad, and I was so suicidal though. But at this point, I knew I wasn't going to do it. Do you know what I mean? At this point, I was like, you had your chance, and now look at what you would have caused if you'd have gone. Like,
Yeah.
and I knew then, almost like a
I suppose
relief.
there's nothing more sobering than that, than
No,
staring in the face what you were, could have left behind.
yeah,
That
yeah,
has got to be a very chilling, very sobering
yeah. It
experience.
was rubbish because I was still like, it doubled down. I was like, why would anyone want me around now? Like, I'm just a mess. I
Yeah,
remember every day
yeah,
staring at the motorway off the bridge. I've told you before, like just going like,
yes,
I'd love
yeah,
to just do that, but I can't now. You fucked it because you're on everyone's radar now. That was the rock bottom, but a mental health rock bottom. But the drinking, I got told I had to have a year off drinking. For some reason, someone said, if you had a year off, you'll be all right. I don't know who told me that, but someone told me that once. And I was like, okay, 365 days and I'm fixed. So 6 months later, we moved to Australia, and I'm still, I'm on antidepressants, and I'm doing all right on that side of things. And then 6 months into living in Australia, my 365 days of abstinence hits. The day
yeah.
before my daughter's birthday, I'm like, right, okay, I guess I can just drink again now. And it's like I was hit with this new life in Australia, and I was like, don't see why it'd be a problem. And then, obviously one thing leads to another. I end up.
Are you nervous about drinking?
No, I literally, I remember I've got a photo of my first beer back, my first one back. It's a 4X Gold, really peaceful. And,
Yeah.
the alcohol was not that big a deal. I was just like, right, back to normal now.
But I suppose you've done, it's sort of not taken away from what we're talking about, but just in that year, you've done no dirty work as
No,
such. There's
nothing.
been no sobriety work. You are literally just because you're quite a strong character. If you're not going to do something, I from when I speak to you, I get the sense you've got a will. You're not going to do it. So a year of abstinence for you, I think you'd be pretty good at just shutting up shop and
Yeah,
opening the shop door the day after, and like
yeah.
nothing's happened.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah,
And it was just like starting again. Because the funny thing was, I was like, Brody was scared, going like, oh my God, he's drinking again. But she doesn't know about addiction at this. But she's like, will it be different this time? I don't know. We're also like trying to start new careers in Australia with 3 kids on our own. We've got enough on our plate anyway. Last thing she wants to be worrying about is alcohol. I was like, it's fine because I'm going to write down every drink I have in my diary, and the only entry in my diary was this 4X Gold I had on the first day back. 2 days later, I'm just on the piss
please tell
again.
me you've still got that.
I still got it up there. Yeah. I'll take a photo of it and
Yeah,
send it. Yeah, it says
I'd
two 4X
I,
Golds. That's what it says.
I'd
And that's
like
the
that. I'd
only
like
thing.
that as I'd like as a trinket gift.
Yeah. I'll post it to you.
What? How many years? What of like a decade though? It's got to be good. Like if we're still podcasting in a decade, I can have
Original
that page.
signed
Yeah,
diary
yeah,
entry. Yeah, so that was where that all led up to, and then I just remember like it was like a year and a half building up into getting back to where I was with the drink, and then the one of the times that I realised, oh, this probably isn't good, is like driving to. I was doing this touch AFL competition that was like 5 p.m. start, I think it was on a Thursday, and Brody wasn't in with the kids. So then I got home from work and started drinking straight away at like 3 o'clock. And I had AFL, and then I remember getting there and being drunk, and I had a carton of beer in my passenger seat. Um,
So you
and then
turned up to the AFL drunk.
yeah, I turned up to the AFL drunk,
Yeah.
and then I remember it was like 2 minutes to, and it was only like a sociable competition. It was like five-a-side. It's not, doesn't matter if you're not, on top of your
Yeah.
game, sort of thing.
Don't matter if you've had 12 cans on the way.
Yeah, but it also, no one really does that. And then I remember going do you know what? I might just watch this game from the van and drink the beers, and that's what I did.
Yeah,
I did it. I parked far away enough from the game that they wouldn't go, "Is that Sam's van?" And then I just drank like as many beers as I could in this 45-minute time period. And then the worst part was when the game finished, I got out my van and I was like, "Sorry, I'm late, everyone. I ended up having a beer after work, and then I couldn't make it in time." And I remember going like, "You've just lied about that. You've just
yeah,
lied." Like, it probably would have been fine if I'd have gone, "Do you know what? I'm not going to play. I'm just going to sit here and drink beers while you lot play." But it was the secretive, like, I'm just going to sit like that and
yeah,
just cane as many of these Great Northerns as I can in 45 minutes. And that's a moment that I was like, okay, this has got me again. So I think that
yeah.
was,
Secret drinking, there's a bit of that in some of my story. I used to, buy drinks on the side, and I'd have places in the house where I'd nip off and like swig neat brandy and stuff out the way
yeah,
of prying eyes. That is that's a big telltale sign, isn't it? If you're
yeah,
secret drinking,
huge, huge.
you're at this point, are you mentally a bit better off? Now you're in
Yeah,
Australia, you've had a year off drink. Are you mentally a bit stronger, do you think?
at
Or are
first,
you still
yeah.
in a bad place?
At first, yeah. And these are things I haven't like actually reflected on enough, and I've not spoken to someone in a few years now, in like therapy or counselling, which
Yeah.
I will do to sort of join the dots. But definitely, there was periods of I remember driving home from work and just going like very very sudden, going like, oh, I'd love to just drive off the road and into the creek, and that'd be it. But I can't now. Since that attempt back in 2019, I was like, I can't do that anymore. Like, I can't do that again.
Mm.
No matter how much I want to, I can't do that again because it's too bad for everyone else. I've got too much people who rely on me. I've had suicidal episodes since,
I was
and
about to ask, do you still get those thoughts now?
I do, but I also now have learnt that it's it's not necessarily me. It's part of my brain that is it doesn't work right for some reason. There's part of me that I have a response to things where that's my response. Instead of going, let's work this problem out, let's navigate this properly and work out why you feel like that or why that's happened. I'm like, just kill yourself, and
Yeah.
that's like a very unnatural, unhelpful way of thinking and dealing
Yeah.
with problems. But it is still there.
It's yeah. It's a weird one because one of the reasons I ask is since I know I just want to prerequisite this by saying I've never sort of had the thoughts or the experiences that you've had, and I've never not what I've not wanted to be myself, but I've not wanted to die, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
But now, and this is recent, quite, just before Christmas, and now I've stopped the drink and drugs, and I've stopped being able to numb the world out. I sometimes find myself I have these bizarre thoughts of just crashing my car into something
mm,
and not being here. And I don't want to, I'm really in terms of how my life is going, it's never been better. But I have these just bizarre thoughts, like weird thoughts, and I don't want to act on them.
yeah,
I don't want to act on them, but I sometimes think, have these always been in me? But I've just been too numb with drink and drugs and hangovers and everything else. Have I been too numb to notice them? Because I
yeah,
do sometimes think that now, like, oddball thoughts. What would happen if there was just a car that pulled out on you in a minute? I'd just be driving home and I'd be like, if there's a car that pulls out on me and I'm just dead in 10 seconds, what happened? Just
yeah,
bizarre, bizarre thoughts. And I don't want to die,
mm,
but they just happen and I can't explain them. And I've never actually spoken about that. You might be the first person I've ever told.
I don't think they're bizarre at all. I don't.
But
I
you feel bizarre. You know, I
Yeah,
sometimes feel uncomfortable after them. I'll be in the car like, God, what was I thinking about that for? That's
yeah,
quite a that's quite morbid. You're driving home to your wife and kids. You're happy, you're excited to go home and see these people. But 2 minutes before on the way home, you're thinking about death. It's
yeah,
it's it's, it's strange, isn't it? The human brain, and sometimes it's just alcohol's a coping mechanism, isn't it? For those things, it
yeah,
gets
yeah,
rid of them.
yeah. I think death in general. Fucking hell, this is a fun episode, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting a bit. Oh
Dong.
God.
We'll play the
Yeah.
Undertaker's music for the start of it.
Yeah, we got a dub siren for death.
Yeah, we
Just
need to be
we need a
careful there.
scythe. The scythe. Shh.
But I think your thoughts there are a great example of. I don't know anyone who probably do. I think everyone would have at some point
Yeah,
some
mate,
form
it's
of
the reason
thought
I
of.
bring it up and
Yeah,
I ask about it because it just seemed like a good time for a start, but
I'm the wrong
it's
bloke to
something
speak.
that is on my mind, and maybe you are the
I'm the
wrong
wrong bloke to
bloke,
speak about this too.
but it's something that does happen to me,
Yeah,
and I've noticed it more post sobriety.
it's a huge reason why people drink to just quieten down them voices that are just real. Like for me, like I said, I'm the wrong bloke to speak about this to because I'm probably one extreme of the side and I'm constantly managing these symptoms, I think. And I'll go months of just feeling great and then something will trigger it and I'll have this response of intense depression and that will be sort of the thing I'm pulled towards, but I'll never act on it now, which is really nice to know. But it's something that I need to keep understanding, and I am each day that goes past, I'm understanding myself more, and that is
Yeah.
recovery, really, isn't it? Just
Yeah, I was just about to say that's the beauty of sobriety and recovery is you can build your own coping mechanism, can't you?
yeah,
So like as we were saying, like between your year of abstinence and actual sobriety and recovery, that's a big difference in the two.
yeah. Opposite ends. It's like a different life that is completely different. It's like playing Metal Gear Solid and FIFA. Like you're playing on the that's not a good analogy, but you're playing on the same console. But it's a very different game.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know where Metal Gear Solid came from, by
No,
the way.
which one was which? Which one was abstinence and which one was sobriety then if we're gonna
Well, Metal Gear Solid's quite like somber and it's a bit depressing. The graphics and stuff,
Yeah, so
isn't it?
so is that abstinence?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Metal Gear
FIFA,
Solid's absent. FIFA is,
FIFA's
yeah.
sociable, sport, healthy. Yeah, or maybe it's Worms 3D. I think we should finish with a couple of new features just to sort of clear the scythe and the Grim Reaper out of the air.
Yeah, we need something jovial, don't we? Because that's been heavy.
Fiction Addiction Cup.
Yeah,
We
the
have
Fiction
we have
Addiction
to do
Cup.
it. So, do you want to explain what the Fiction Addiction Cup is, or me?
Um, I think your grasp of it is better, so I'll leave this one to you.
Okay, so the Fiction Addiction Cup is a knockout tournament of fictional characters who me and you, or the listeners or the guests, believe have an alcohol, drug, or potentially mental health problem away from the plot of the movie that they're in. For example, Buzz out of Home Alone could be a massive pillhead on Home Alone 2, but he just hasn't admitted it to his family. Um, and
I think Buzzer's got a lot going on under there.
yeah, we're not just taking the piss. We're saying that we can see patterns in these movie characters of ourselves potentially, and how would they fare in real life situations? And we'll spin a wheel which has several different activities that they would go head to head against. We'll have a winner and they will go through to the next round. So, the categories, and these categories, I'm open to changing some of them. But we've got MMA, so this would be a head-to-head MMA fight between the two of them. A game of chess, a singer-songwriter, stand-up comedy, a heptathlon, act in a different movie to the one they're in. The drummer for UB40, that's a personal favourite of mine.
Yeah.
Bake Off, just a painting, so let's say a self-portrait maybe. The SAS Who Dares Wins, autobiography, best on a stag do stash wedding, or university.
The Fiction Addiction Cup is brought to you by Umbongo.
My character, I like to keep it Disney, and my character is Abu, the monkey from Aladdin. I think he has got some serious issues with his communication skills for a start. But he's into a lot of thieving, isn't he? He's always on the rob. He's making bad decisions. He's responsible for getting him and Aladdin in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I just think there's, he's fueling some form of addiction with all this thieving and tomfoolery.
Do you think it's drink? Because I do. Now you've said it, I'm positive it's drink.
You're positive he's a boozer?
Yeah.
It could be, now we've got him up, he is a little bit sort of stereotypical alcoholic, isn't he? He's got the waistcoat on, he's poorly dressed, he's clearly not bothered about buying clothes, he's just bothered about buying cans.
I think he's a good shout. Look, he's in jail here.
Yeah, he's in the nick. He's not
clowning
bothered.
around, isn't he?
Yeah, he's probably pissed there.
Do you think this is Abu's rock bottom? Because he's in jail right now, and he doesn't seem to care. He's pretending to be a lady.
I would say he's very good at that, and I would say often he's trying to trick blokes on the street selling his body. And he's he's a bit mutton dressed as lamb there, isn't he?
I think he's looking back now, because this is what, 1998 or something?
Oh, earlier than that.
Okay, 92? Well, he's looking back at this as a 30-year-old monkey going, what was I why could I not see that me and Aladdin, we'd been nicked and we're in prison, and all I can do is like these faces. I think this is the, and this might not be good if you're not watching it on YouTube, that is the screenshot of Abu hitting rock bottom to me. Just no concept of the shit he's in.
I think he's absolutely pissed out of his mind there. And all he can do is put his waistcoat over his head and dress like a monkey and swing his tail around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and this is like probably 4 a.m. as well, so he's...
it's dead of night, isn't it?
Yeah.
He also doesn't look like he's worried about being in prison. I don't think that's his first time being in the nick.
So
I think he's been in Agrabah jail once or twice.
So I've gone, back end of Christmas, I've gone for the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Nice.
We've already touched on it.
So it's a full Disney clash, this one.
Yeah,
First
I think
round.
He has got it all the telltale signs of a village boozer. He's constantly
and know me
laughing.
better, man.
He's not with anyone. He's drinking alone here.
No, yeah.
Did I? This is
That's
right
fucking
before
brilliant.
In his-
He is literally alone, just boozing on himself.
sitting by the fire in the pub, and he's got all this food as well. Look at all this food
Yeah.
he's ordered.
He's absolutely delighted that Scrooge has walked in off the street. He's got
Yeah.
a friend to bore to death.
Yeah.
Pissed out of his head.
You did, yeah.
And Scrooge is like, he's going, this is Christmas Day. And Scrooge is going like, yeah, I know. But he's so off his tits that he's just, he can't stop going on about it. Listen,
You're a little absent-minded spirit.
absent-minded.
I'm a large absent-minded spirit.
Pissed.
Talking in
Mention the
riddles. Talking in riddles.
Before this day is done, you will understand.
I'm not sure anybody's going to understand.
Yeah. He's on his own planet, isn't he? Goes to Christmas present.
Yeah.
He takes Scrooge to a graveyard where there's basically a Grim Reaper there waiting for him. And then he's sung this song, he takes him there and then just pisses off, doesn't he?
Yeah, he fades
again,
away into dust.
That is it's a classic pisshead manoeuvre.
Yeah, he's dropped the shoulder.
He's gone.
He's dropped the shoulder and gone.
So let's spin the wheel and see what happens, because
Yeah.
I've got no idea how we navigate this. So let's spin it.
No, I'm not.
Heptathlon.
Heptathlon.
Wow.
Somebody's going to have to explain to me what a heptathlon is for a start.
Heptathlon is
You're thinking of decathlon, like
Well,
what
that's
Daley
10.
Thompson
That's
was it?
10.
Yeah. So what? So is heptathlon? Is that just 7?
7. Yeah.
Why do we have it?
What do you mean? Why do we have it?
Why do we have? Why is there a heptathlon? What was wrong with decathlon?
Well,
Why
I'm not
have we-
here to discuss, why there's Olympic events. I'm here to discuss
I'm
who
amazed
would
at your
win out of
knowledge.
Abu the monkey and the Ghost of Christmas Present in the heptathlon.
It's a good one. It is a good one. What are the events then? Come on.
Okay, so let's do it strategically. 100-meter hurdles. Abu hands
I
down.
think Abu's winning that. Yeah. Yeah.
High jump. Abu.
Well,
Surely he literally does the high jump at the market when they're stealing.
he's agile, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a big. The Ghost of Christmas Present is a big guy. Is he getting that weight up and over the bar?
No, he's not
be
getting
fair, I
anything
think you're
above
right. I think
your
you're
2
right.
meter mark. He's tapping out. So Abu again.
It's Fosby flop.
Shot put. I think we all know the winner there.
Yeah.
Absolute. I actually would say if I were to pick an event for the Ghost of Christmas Present, it would.
Yeah,
be
he's a
put.
shot. Oh, he's a shot putter all day, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a shot putter all day.
200 meters. Fuck it. Abu. Your Ghost of
Abu
Christmas
is-
Present
yeah.
is getting gassed at 50 meters.
He needs, he needs some strength events, doesn't he? There's a lot of speed and
fought-
agility.
Long jump. Again, you've got to go
Tough
for
one though.
Abu.
What's his stride like though? He's a big bloke, isn't he? I think
Yeah,
You know,
no,
is his
he's not beating
stride,
Abu. Honestly, I think Abu's got the long jump.
right.
Javelin, the Ghost of Christmas Present,
Yeah.
clearly.
4-2.
And then 800 meters.
I don't know. What's he going to be like over distance? I mean, Abu's got the speed.
I don't think either will be that good. You've
Is he
also
gonna
got to
be
take
good?
into account they're both alcoholics, so they're
Yeah, I've got a feeling
cardio.
that.
It's going to be
I
a
think
poor
there
race.
might be a. I think there might be a DNF on both of them. They did not finish 800.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
I think
we'll do
they've
that.
not made it.
So 4-2 to Abu the monkey.
Yeah, which I'm amazed about.
Yeah, the reason I put the Ghost of Christmas Present in is 'cause I thought he was going to win the whole tournament at one point.
Yeah, he's gone out first round. He's
Unbelievable.
gone out first round to a monkey in a waistcoat.
That's the Fiction Addiction Cup, though. That's the way. That's
That
the
is
way
the
these things
Fiction
work.
Addiction Cup.
No second chances. So I would encourage anyone who's got their own fictional character that they believe have a problem of some sort
Well,
and that
I
might
think we
fare
I think
well.
we need them, don't we? We need them for the next episode.
Yeah,
Get your Because
we
it's not
don't.
going to be good if it's just me and you
No,
churning out characters. We need characters sending in, don't we?
100%.
Get them into the DMs.
You feel me knocking?
So the knock is a concept that me and you sort of have been doing for a while. But when I was in my drinking days on a Friday, which is the day these episodes are going to be coming out from now, I used to love driving home with a beer and blasting the tunes. And when I stopped drinking, I really did miss that feeling of knocking off on a Friday, having a drink, knowing that I'm about to get blasted for 2 nights, 2 days solid, 3 days solid. I'd already been drinking, and it was just the beginning of the weekend signified by a beer on the way home with my favourite tunes.
It's one of the best beers, isn't it? That
It is, yeah, you've
the
got to.
knock. If there is one thing you miss about drinking, it's the knock beer, isn't it?
The knock beer's a good one.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring that back just because I'm not drinking anymore. I can still have, it's not the same, but it's a different feeling I get now on a
It's a
Friday.
different feeling, isn't it? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different feeling, and you can relate to it differently. I mean, we've had it going now for about 6 months, haven't we, between
Yeah.
us, a knock playlist, and we're both into music anyway, but I think you can talk about the song, can't you, and what it reminds you of and what it makes you feel like, and actually you don't need a beer. How many knocks a week are we having?
So I
Because
think me and you
we
are going to
we
do
are
one each now.
we're open to listener suggestions
And
on
then
knocks as the weeks go on,
the
aren't we?
only requirement is you need to send in a voice note, probably Instagram, of why this song is a good knock song for you. It can be an emotional, song that has meaning to your sobriety or your recovery or your struggles, or it can just be a banger that puts you in a good mood at the weekend.
Yeah.
And the idea is we have this playlist that is community driven, and it's for people who are sort of going through the same sort of thing, and they can put it on a Friday, but it sort of re-emphasizes what you're doing, and
You can have a Coke or a non-alcoholic beer
the drink is
with
irrelevant.
it.
The
The
drink is not.
drink is
It's
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
It is.
And it's not a sobriety playlist either. I'd like to add, it's nothing
It's
to do with
absolutely
that.
not. It's anything but a sobriety playlist. This is feel-good music that puts you in a good mood for the weekend. And if you can send in a voice note with what it means to you,
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah. So have you got a knock for now? No,
So
I
my
can't remember.
first ever knock is by College Electric Youth, and it's called A Real Hero.
Oh yes.
And it's from the film Drive. The reason I used it for my first knock was I think I can't remember how far along in sobriety I was, but I really connected with the song after sort of post drink and drugs. It just, when I listened to it after drinking drugs, it meant something totally different to me. I used to listen to the song when I was drinking. I was like, I love this song. It's really great and it's a bit moody. And then I listened to it when all the drinking song and the lyrics are in it are and a real hero, a real human being. And it just struck a chord with me that is when you leave drinking drugs alone, you can become a real human being, can't you? And
Yeah.
actually, you can become a real hero just by being. And that's probably might not be what the song was intended for, but music is great for interpretation. And to me, just that line of being a real human being and a real hero it really meant something to me after I'd given up. It was a song that I could listen to and really take inspiration and find something in my sobriety to connect to this song.
I think mine's slightly left field and maybe not a classic knock song, but I've got to have, at some point, I've got to put a hardcore tune in, and this is probably the hardcore tune that's helped me the most. It's Through Pain by Denied, which I don't think you will have heard before. There's not many songs that have like actively helped me when I've felt shit, and this song is probably one of the top 4 or 5 that have actually like physically helped me out of feeling shit. And like the lyrics, when you listen to it, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a very good song. It's like a 90s American hardcore tune, but the chorus is through the pain I saw salvation, through the pain I seek redemption, through the pain I hurt no more, which is a cool line, I reckon, because it I don't know, it's just really helped me, this tune. So nothing could have changed it. Nothing could have changed it. Through the pain I saw salvation. Through the pain I seek redemption.
You know, clearly, that sounds like you know, that chorus must give you a feeling of strength.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of people get so much strength from hardcore in general, especially there's a straight edge scene that is
yeah.
You know, I think
is that what you have to have an X on your hand?
That have to. No, it sort of just signifies that you are edge. But I would love to get, you know, someone on to talk about straight edge, because it's an example of a community of people who don't use any drugs or alcohol, sometimes even caffeine they don't have. But if you go to a hardcore show, it's one of the most like genuinely fun environments you can be in. Very inclusive, and the whole thing about straight edge is about you don't need anything to have an amazing time.
So there's your knocks.
There's your
2 knocks. And will it be 2 knocks a week now? 2 knocks an episode?
2 knocks an episode, and if people fail to send them in, unfortunately,
we'll knock.
And people have to get sick of our knocks.
And we will knock.
Yes. But
we will knock.
Guests are compulsory knocks.
Guests, yeah, lovely, like that, yeah. Compulsory knocks, like that, yeah.
Yeah, compulsory knocks and compulsory Fiction Addiction Cup entrants. Should we finish with What's Up with Gus?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Gus, what's up with you now?
Right, you ready?
Hello, mate. How are we? Mate, barbers take the fucking piss. I go down to my Turkish barber. He only knows how to do a skin fade and a beard. Everyone who goes in there comes out looking exactly the fucking same. I got my beard and hair done. It comes to 37 quid for a shape up. I think, fuck me, you cunts want to be on like 60 quid an hour. I hate it when I walk in, I've got a queue and I see some cunt getting all doled up. Like, it was going well. Like, he'd done a good job, but he kept spinning me in the chair, like, all the way round. I just didn't know why. He'd done it about 5 times. And I was like, why the fuck is he spinning me all the way round? Like, he can walk round me, and he was walking round me, and then he'd just spin me, and then he'd cut a little bit, spin again. And I, like, you know, they got them weird chairs. I always have my elbows on the chairs. He put me to, like, basically the height, and every time he, like, leant over, my elbow would, like, touch his dick. And I was like, so then I had to sit with my hands in, because I was like, I don't want to be that guy that's, like, not moving my elbows, but I don't want him pressing up against me either. Yeah, it's expensive. I used to love getting my hair cut. Honestly, I used to love it. I can't afford it now.
And they always want to chat to you now, don't they? Like you're their best friend. I'm not your mate.
I come here just to have this cut. Don't ask me how my day's going. Leave me the fuck alone. Just cut my hair. Don't spin me in my chair. Keep your willy away from my elbow. That's all you got to do. But yeah, fucking barbers, mate. You do my head in.
Bit of anger there from Gussie.
Yeah. I'm with him on some of that, you know. Firstly, I could listen to him. It's something about Gussie's accent for me that I can listen to him moan all day long. Just I don't get bored of that Cockney. It's a good accent for moaning in and swearing. It's a good accent for profanity. But I am winning with him on this. Not anymore, because one thing I miss, you know, is having a haircut. Because presumably you do yours yourself as well.
Well, no, my missus is a hairdresser, so
Oh, of course.
she does it. She's
Yeah,
always done it.
so he's moaning about this like he's a bit taboo for you. Are
No,
we going to get in trouble?
no, she's
Because
a hairdresser. It's
I sometimes
different.
think, like, if I go in like for like a cutthroat razor shave now, it's like fucking mechanics wages.
Yeah.
The amount of people they can get through and they charge per hour. That's mechanic stuff. And I mean, them boys are coining it, aren't they? So I'm with him on that. That is a good thing to moan about. But I do miss having a haircut. I used to love that, mate. It's the noise. Do you ever listen to ASMR stuff?
No,
Like the crinkly noises and
don't
stuff.
like any of
I,
it.
don't you?
No, I could moan about that.
Could you really see? I'm big on that. That'd be a big divide for me and you. I can play that stuff in bed, and I often play ASMR haircuts to go to sleep. Like Lauren goes mad next to me. Like, why are you listening to this? Are you just jealous that you can't get your haircut anymore? And I think I am. I remember as a kid, like the noise it used to get, like the scissors on your hair round by your ears, gives you a tingle. I miss that.
Yeah,
I
right.
do. I'm with him. I love having. I used to love having my haircut. I can't go in anymore, um, but it's expensive. What's it like over there? Is it?
I don't know.
No, well, you
I
don't
don't
pay,
know,
do you?
but
Have you ever paid then?
one of my best mates,
So some
Danny's
of
a
your,
barber, so
yeah. What's it? Yeah, I bet he's.
I don't know. I got no idea. I think it's like
Oh,
$60 for a haircut, maybe.
so some of your rascal trims that you had throughout Premiership years of Sam Harrison,
Yeah,
are they Brody trims? Are they?
yeah. From age 16, she's done every single haircut I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah,
Decent.
yeah.
You've
Never.
saved a few quid there.
Danny did one actually when I was back in England, and then other than that, I've never cheated on my barber, which is my wife. I need to shave it at the minute. Actually, it looks terrible. It looks like I
There's
don't
some
know.
length to that.
Yeah, it's the worst possible length. But I'm growing my hair for court because I feel like if I have a number 5 all round, they might go, yeah, let's let him off. But I don't know. What do you
What
think about
kind of
that?
philosophy is that?
Yeah.
A number five might get me off. I really don't know. Oh my word. Do you
Yeah.
reckon? Do you know what? Actually, coming back to this, do you know what I said earlier? Now you've mentioned court, and I just thought about prison then. Do you know what I mentioned earlier? Things in your life that I thought would change my drinking. So marriage, kids, these little events that I thought might slow me down drinking. I often had a thought, like when I'd really done something bad and I was really hungover. I often thought I could do with a stretch in prison.
Yeah.
That would help my drinking out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had that. That's a very real and serious thought I used to have. Like I could do a year in prison would help my drinking.
Well, it would.
It probably would,
Yeah.
but
But they
but I
do
wasn't.
they find ways to do it though. They make
Oh
alcohol out of
God,
like
yeah.
fruit and squash and stuff and glue and stuff. So
Like
you probably
if I'd
find
have
a
gone
way.
in, to be fair, if I'd have gone in thinking it was going to help my drinking, I'd have been I'd have been spiced out my nut.
Coming out of
I've been-
Spice Head.
Yeah, absolutely spiced.
I don't drink anymore though, so I
Yeah,
just
I've
have
knocked the
seizures
booze on
every
you,
half an
but
hour.
I'm absolutely spiced.
Yeah.